Welcome back. Welcome back, everybody, to the Nerding Grounds podcast. This is a weekly show where we talk about new and old video games and find our purpose in life. That's probably related to video games. Um, I'm not even going to waste time because holy hell, do we have a ton of stuff to talk about this week.
Yeah, a
If
ton.
Anybody that is into the gaming atmosphere will know that this past weekend had a ton of announcements and showcases and shows. We started off last week on Thursday with Summer Game Fest, Jeff Keighley's whole shebang that may or may not have killed E3. Um,
Kind of looks like it now.
oh, it's done. It's over.
Yeah.
There was a ton of stuff. We're going to go through what caught our eye, the most. I don't think we definitely don't have time to go over all 5,000 games that were announced this weekend. On Sunday, we had the Xbox and Bethesda showcase, so we're going to go over that. And then the Ubisoft Forward and Capcom ones happened on Sunday, Monday-ish. I don't remember. It's been a blur of just watching
Yeah,
YouTube streams.
pretty much.
So yeah, we're gonna take a trip through all of it. I very likely have recorded the streams and included them down below here. Um, and yeah, it's a good time to mention if you haven't, go on our YouTube channel and check out our Diablo podcast that just uploaded, hopefully. And we put a bunch of work into that. Matt recorded a bunch of awesome footage. If you just want a really good, rounded impression of the campaign of that game, I think we did a pretty good job delivering.
Yeah. Also, if you want to listen to us talk for another hour
Exactly.
with interactive video.
We do not mind if you do other things whilst. Okay, so here we go. Summer Game Fest. You watched it. I watched it. It was a good time. It was all right?
Yeah. I was actually very impressed with Xbox's presentation, right? I mean,
Mm-hmm.
obviously they paid like a lot of money to kind of have some of those world first sort of things.
Mm-hmm.
And then, grouping in like of course, having Bethesda.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
that obviously stole the show from probably everything else. But yeah, I liked everything that I saw, right? Including Fable.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you want to go over the Xbox one first, or do you want to go over Summer Game Fest first?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. We could start wherever. That's just probably where I'm most excited. But we can.
All right, then we'll pile drive through Summer Games Fest and spend the most time on Xbox
Yeah,
Bethesda.
I'll
Um,
drive.
It'll make it easier for me to add the video footage anyway. So
Yeah, it's true.
the big one of Summer Games Fest that started out was Mortal Kombat 1.
Right.
Um, you know, they were all excited about that. They had Ed Boon come out on stage. Um, I don't know what it is. I texted you this. I don't know what it is. I think I'm past that stage. Mortal Kombat just disturbs me now.
It's definitely macabre, right? Like, and they keep trying to outdo themselves there. I I don't know. I just never like. I don't see.
The
They're trying
charm
to make it seem like it's some big announcement for them revamping the 12th Mortal Kombat game, right?
into Mortal Kombat 1, one of the worst names I've ever seen.
Yeah. So, I, I it's like, was that supposed to be a big surprise? It's kind of like a Call of Duty to me at this point.
I think people were really impressed with that Mortal Kombat 11 story. I can't speak to it at all,
Right.
but apparently from a fighting game campaign standpoint, it was very well done. So I think they're expecting a little bit more here, how, you know, Liu Kang or someone has rewritten and restructured the timeline and has made this. I don't know. It seems crazy, but yeah, I don't have that. I want to see someone's severed head be pulled off or severed head pushed through their rib cage. Like, I don't know
Yeah,
if I need to see that.
yeah, pretty much.
It gives me like anxiety. So maybe that's not for me. Um,
Maybe not. I mean,
we'll see.
as far as like fighting games go, it's not for me either, right?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
still a little like slow and
It does.
yeah.
Yeah. There's not a lot of forward momentum, I guess, and I'm not a big
And
fighting game person anyway. But I was curious to see, and that's interesting that you're kind of like meh on it. Um,
and I've
what
always
about
been that way with Mortal Kombat's, right? But
yeah?
sorry, go on.
I was gonna say excuse me. What about Path of Exile 2?
I actually didn't even realize that they had the footage there. I think they just showed like a little bit, right? From
Yeah, I was kind of
a
just
video.
running and using
Yeah.
skills and stuff.
Um,
It was very quick.
yeah, it was just um I,
Is that something you want to do to yourself again?
I think really it's not a matter if I want to or not, right? Like I'm going to, Um unfortunately, but I mean when like a new ARPG comes out,
Yeah,
I'm gonna play it. Just like when a
yeah.
lot of new MMOs come out, I'll play it, right? It just depends on how much I'll get into it. I really, really, really hope they add. Well, I hope they do a lot of things. I do really hope which will make a lot of people probably really angry. I hope they kind of just main a, a good bit of things, maybe.
Yeah.
Good, just a couple like one, right? Because if that camping is the same boring ass long ass campaign that is in the first game, that's kind of a big note for me because it's a
Maybe
huge,
less exciting.
yeah, huge slog to get through for sure. I mean, I guess you can experience like the new one, but like I don't know, the writing's weird in my
Yeah,
opinion,
yeah,
and
definitely.
not that good. Uh, and it is like the whole game is a bit like macabre too. Just trying to maybe outdo
It was
Diablo
very
2 where it's
dark.
like, yeah,
Like
extremely.
literally there's no light.
Yeah. And the whole game kind of has that similar sort of palette to it, which
Hmm.
I don't I don't really necessarily understand. I mean, there is, I guess, more open like what they've shown is like a desert, another video or area that is shown. It's like a big desert area, and that seems pretty cool. There's a lot more light and stuff going on there.
Hmm.
They're
Yeah.
definitely trying to go into this whole I guess maybe towards what like Diablo Force combat kind of has to be. I mean, Path of Exile definitely is a game where it is like that. Like you do actually have to dodge. It's just not very apparent, right? Like that normally kind of comes down to you just need to keep moving because if you stay still, you're probably dead instantly. Um,
Oh, okay.
so you're inadvertently dodging, and then there's like big bosses and stuff with their own big like mechanics to them, and you have to do that. Which if I ever really got that far and had a build that was capable of doing it, because there really isn't, not every build can just do that. The big boss
Yeah.
in the game,
Yeah.
I'd probably enjoy that a good
Hmm.
bit.
Hmm.
But hey, I mean, hopefully, they do kind of slow it down, make it a little bit more deliberate. I mean, that actually kind of works, uh, seemingly. So far, Diablo 4 has been pretty fun. It's less spammy, more of like you,
Actually trying
what's
to
going on with you and your surroundings.
some actual action combat.
Yeah, and they're
Mhm.
definitely clearly from Path of Exile, which you see, especially with like all the chain attacks and stuff in that particular video and other ones. I think they're trying to go towards that, but
Yeah, yeah.
we will see how that actually is in execution.
Yeah. One thing I wanted to mention, not because I have any interest in this game, but Dead by Daylight is going to have Nick Cage in it.
Yeah, I saw that. I mean, I'm all for it, right?
I just wanted to bring it up because this was one of the celebrity actually had a charming little spot on the stage. Like I thought it was funny.
Yeah.
It wasn't cringe or awkward. He was just genuinely he was being Nick Cage, and it was entertaining. So I was
That
excited
always
about that.
works. Yeah.
And then right after that, they showed Witchfire, um, which certainly impressive looking, maybe a little Doom-ish. There seems to be a lot of those Doom games coming out. Just
Yeah.
high-paced, aggressive gun combat and zipping around arenas and things like that. But um, nothing really aside from that.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they're good spectacles. I mean, they're fun, right? It's actually more of like an old style sort of game, right? That's the original shooter esque
Yeah, yeah.
experience is just these
It's more about feel than it is
yeah,
about, story or
feel
whatever the
and
hell.
right. And I mean, some of them can certainly have like decent ass stories, but there's like no big like other mechanics going on besides just you and your guns.
Yeah, yeah. Your weapon wheel and
Right.
hot switching and doing glory kills, I imagine.
Yeah. Certainly no big backtracking and Metroidvania sort of
Well, there
thing.
will be a backtrack, and it'll sound like damn, 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 damn,
Yeah,
damn.
yeah. Hey, I'm all for it, right?
Maybe they got Mick Gordon after he was abused by id Software.
Awful.
I could only hope so. One I am looking forward to, which it was shown, Lies of P was shown at Summer Game Fest.
Right.
Then I think there was more at the Xbox One.
I actually
Um,
saw whatever they did like an extended expo or whatever.
mhm.
I think that was going on today or so
Okay.
or yeah, it was either today or yesterday, but they also had like Capcom and different things. Everybody did like like more like talk with the developers showing
Oh
gameplay
yeah,
sort of
yeah.
thing, right?
I watched a channel go through just a full demo with it, like all the way to the first boss fight and everything. So I got a little better idea. That game is just straight up like a Bloodborne,
Yeah. Yeah.
just
Yeah. And
borrow.
then
It's just
they
borrowing Bloodborne.
definitely they 100% do not shy away from, it being a Souls-like, right? And
Not
just
at all.
calling it a Souls-like and
I was like actually a little surprised at how blatant um the Souls genre is weird. It's like people are just like you can't really, you know, they made such a good formula. We have to just cop it.
people have tried to move away from it. I mean,
Yeah, I think
things some games have some been able to make like their own
I'll.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean
they
you
set
have
off
like
on their
the Jedi games and
right,
those do a decent job of emulating it but doing their own thing. This just
right.
straight up seems like they wanted a new
Yeah.
Bloodborne, so they made a new Bloodborne with
Yeah,
a
well,
public domain IP.
yeah. I mean, yeah, but if you want something done, do it yourself, I guess.
I'm not mad about that.
Me
Like
neither.
I'm going to play it.
Yeah, it does look good. I mean, obviously we've talked about a lot. We've been excited about that one for a while. I hope it is good. I did would see like one when they were fighting a boss, and it just seemed like really like and of course this is just a dev running through a demo, right? Things are
Yeah,
completely
yeah.
different, but he's sitting there with like the rapier or whatever, and he's fighting a boss, and he's just like hit, and he blocks, right? And he takes the full hit of the boss, like the big hulking boss just hits him,
Hmm.
and he like does nothing to his stamina or anything. So it just became like a very boring sort of cadence. And
That was my concern as well, and I didn't. I actually watched a channel I follow play the demo, and so like I was watching someone that I it wasn't just like a developer standard or whatever. And yeah, it some of that boss combat seemed a little lifeless, and I'm like, the problem with trying to emulate something so close like Bloodborne, um, if something's off and the AI combat or the AI movement is not good, and the connection with the attacks is not like that's
right,
going to be
yeah.
a problem.
It is, and you're gonna be directly compared to the game you're attempting to emulate here. So yeah, you're gonna be scrutinized quite a bit.
Yeah. So I hope
And there's been a lot of failures, in my opinion, in like the Souls like genre, right? It's like
yeah.
nobody really has been able to trump from software doing it at all. Yeah.
No. And then Elden Ring came out and everybody's like, shit.
Yeah.
Like, what now?
Yeah, what now, right? Um yeah, there's only games that have only just been like take a little bit of element or oh my god, what is the game by Koei Tecmo and Team Ninja? Can't remember it.
Wolong?
Yeah,
Nia?
Wolong and
Nia?
Neo. Yeah,
Yeah,
but
Nia.
I almost forgot about Wolong for a second. I mean, those have kind of like those are souls like that set their own sort of pace, right? And I wouldn't say they are better,
But they do
but
their own thing.
they do their own thing and they do it well enough to be enjoyable games.
I
There's been
agree.
other ones that have just been garbage.
Yeah. Next, because okay, I'll just say we're probably gonna play Liza P and cover it on the channel in
Right.
July, I think is when it comes out. September. Okay, that one's further off than I thought. Um,
In a
I've
lot of
been
days.
excited to talk about this because holy blast from the past. Sandland,
Uh,
the
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Toriyama
yeah, yeah.
one.
Wow. I am surprised that that is being made into a game. It looks fun though. It really
I
does.
mean,
It looks cool, I guess.
are we getting like a blue dragon? You know, like I know it
Yes,
doesn't.
that's because that's kind of what it looks like. I don't really know what exactly is going on in that little like landscape.
Are
I
you?
wouldn't-
Well, apparently it's based off of an old manga that
yeah, that it's the Dragon Ball Z guy's other
yeah,
manga that they're
Toriyama's
relating
manga.
to.
I'm not familiar with the manga, but it
Mm.
seems like a more of a, like an action, maybe machine, like mech or vehicle battle, like in and out. I don't know.
Yeah,
You have like a tank and but you're also doing hand to hand combat. It seems really neat.
it does. We will see.
And there's a bunch of different vehicles. It's not just like one type, and some of them are very Dragon Ball Z, um, semi-future mech military technology. Yeah, it seems interesting.
It does.
And then there's a bunch of small things that I wasn't really interested. Alan Wake 2 seems really neat.
Yeah.
Um, that just looks like they've gone in full survival horror mode. Um, I totally agree with that. I think that's a good call. From what I played from the first one, it was a
It makes sense.
little
Yeah.
it gets a little it wears out its welcome, I feel like. And so if
Yeah.
they take more of a, you know, a measured survival horror approach to it, I think that's a good call. Warhammer 40K Space Marine 2, I never played Space Marine 1, but it seems all right.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
I don't even know what to say about that one, right? I feel like Warhammer games are always like on the cusp of being something really great, but
Maybe like
they
a
don't quite go
genericness to it.
yeah, they don't quite go
Hmm.
the distance, but I mean, I guess that's not really their game.
No,
Um,
they just want to pump out like 40 things per year and
and then hope people get addicted to buying and playing the original Warhammer like action figure things.
yeah, yeah, right. Baldur's Gate 3, I, is it kind of weird that they didn't show more gameplay of that? Like it was really
I mean, I
just
guess if you want, like you can go play the game right now up until
yeah.
like whatever's available, which is I guess super weird. They don't really need to
Yeah, but I
show
guess
gameplay.
for people that don't have their finger on the pulse, because I don't feel like there's been that much information released about it, especially in these, you know,
Yeah,
it's been like small trailers and little bits of information. And this was just like a voice acting thing, which was cool, but I thought we were gonna at least get some combat and exploration, just
yeah,
B-roll that was gonna
yeah.
go over it. And when there wasn't, I was a little confused.
It is
Um,
weird that they wouldn't have had that at this point, right? I mean, that game's got to be pretty close to being done at this point, right? I don't know if we have
yeah,
do we have an official release date for that one?
June 29th.
It's, yeah, so
No, I'm so sorry. August 31st.
even did.
June was something else.
So literally 2 months away.
Yeah, I mean, end of summer, it's gonna be here. God, I'm so glad that doesn't come out in June. I can't do that right now
Yeah.
because I
Yeah.
actually really want to play that one
There is so much.
so much. Spider-Man 2 got a release date in October. That's cool. Um, Pal World. How is this not just straight up copyright infringement? Did you see that one?
No, I don't think so. What was
The
it?
Pokemon style one
I
where it's
mean,
like Pokemon with like Gatling guns and shit.
oh my God, what is it called?
Pal World.
Power.
But some of the Pokemon designs are just blatant copies of actual Pokemon. Like the I can't remember the name, but that big grassy elephant and Latios and Mareep, that flower petal one that's like the like Gardevoir or whatever. Like I'm looking at things in here. I'm like, these are just Pokemon. These are actual Pokemon, licensed Pokemon.
Okay. What? Why do they have guns? What?
I'm totally
What?
I am fine with them having guns. I was more
Guns?
bothered by the fact that the
Oh,
designs are so close.
I am. Whoa, my God. Okay. Uh, who made this?
Who made this?
What? Yeah, no, those
My
are.
money would be on a Chinese company, but I don't know, to be honest.
If I had to guess, but yeah, no, they did. That's that's the only reason why it's not copyright infringement, right there, right?
Right.
It's just that would
What's the
make the
point?
most sense.
Yep, that would make the most sense. Um, that was just funny to me. I was like, holy shit. It's not even like, oh yeah, I can see where they kind of cop that design. No, that's just stolen. Those are just Pokemon.
Yeah, no, they are way too close, like ridiculously close.
We saw a Lord of the Rings game, Return to Moria. That's a survival crafting thing. Seems interesting, but I don't know. I may never play that one. Um,
Yeah.
Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis. It's a mobile game. I have no idea what the hell's going on in that. I thought I knew like last year, and now I have no idea. It's just a bunch of cutscenes and like 15 different styles of gameplay that I can't follow.
And why a mobile game? I don't understand Square Enix sometimes.
There's a good 30-minute or 20-minute chunk toward the end here that I'm just going to skip because it's all mobile game stuff that I'm almost offended by, if I'm being
Yeah.
totally honest. Like,
You don't have a phone?
this is an out of season's April Fool's joke.
Yeah.
Moving to cool stuff. Banisher's Ghost of New Eden looks sweet. Um, I don't have much to say about that. It looks like a cool linear story focused magic game. Like a Dragon Gaiden, Man Who Erased His Name. Kiryu's back. I'm sorry, the man with no
Yeah.
name. Man Who Erased His Name is back. Um, I'm pretty interested in that. Seems like he might get into a little John Wick-ness.
Yeah.
Um, Under the Waves seems like a really creepy and depressing story game that I would probably really enjoy.
Yeah, it sounds like right up your alley.
I mean,
I don't.
you're just hanging out at the bottom of the ocean, you know,
Oh yeah.
being a sad
Isn't
boy.
that from isn't that from the studio that did like
What did they
Beyond
do?
Human and all that good stuff?
Oh, Quantic Dream?
Yeah, I could be wrong,
Heavy
but
Rain? No, I think it is. I think it's their like subsidiary studio. Something tells me they're trying to get away from their name or something, and they've tried to muddy the waters. So,
Cap-
Parallel Studio is like a part of. Yes. I don't know. I think Parallel Studio might be a part of it. I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, I'm interested in that one. A bunch of stuff. Some guy got really weird about Marvel Snap on stage. Um,
This is
then
weird.
again, a bunch of free to play stuff that I don't know. And then Immortals of Avium. I kind of did want to talk to you about this. Um, so it it does look like a decently fun first person action adventure game, but oh my God, it was a word salad of generic fantasy terms, and it almost like turned me off of the whole game.
Um, I have bad memory, folks.
That's the one where it's you got your guy, and
Oh yeah.
he's
I
like
I never even, it seems like a lot of eye candies going on there, right?
a lot of particle
So it
effects.
looks cool, but I really have to wonder why this particular. That's a baby.
It's her
Why this?
baby. She
This
wants to podcast.
did she make her way all the way over there?
Yeah, she crawled through the hole in the chimney.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she wants to talk about Immortals of Avium. She's
Hmm.
waving at you.
It's one of those games that I think.
It's like that
God damn it, we
newscaster.
are professionals, and you're ruining.
It's like that newscaster during COVID,
Ah,
except we
no,
are not newscasters.
no, we're not.
Um, anyway, Immortals of Avium. Yeah, I, it really is. It felt like a sci-fi channel, like when they, and I know you like your sci-fi channel stuff, but when they really get off on that lexicon of made up terms that they just
I
basically threw
really,
onto a paper, it's just like,
I
and then
hate
he,
that in all scenarios, right? I do like my sci-fi, but God, do I hate when they just make up a word and they normally beat it to death too.
yeah,
Whenever they
yeah,
do, it's like they're very, very proud of what they've
of
done.
what they made up, and it's like I don't think you tried that hard. I think you
Yeah,
just put a bunch of syllables together, and then you were like, oh, it's fantasy. The kicker was the end where he goes, everybody sigil up, and I was like, I will. If you say that again, I won't play this game. I'd even request that it be patched out.
I do wonder why this game was being made, right? 'Cause it looks expensive.
It does look expensive, but it might be one of those roller coaster ride types where it's not quite like it may just be a first person shooter campaign style,
That's what I
like
assume what it is, right? Right?
unless they said so. I don't think they said. Granted, there could be a deep dive somewhere on the internet that I just didn't take the time to look into, but um, yeah, very particly, very. Again, this is kind of one of those ones that I was thinking about with the Doom shooters,
Yeah.
where you look like you're trying to go through arenas and manage a bunch of different enemy types and exploit weaknesses and all that stuff. It could be fun.
It could be, right? I don't want to like knock it completely. It seemed like a left field sort of game that's getting um potentially a lot of assets thrown at it for sure. I don't even
Yeah, well, and
know.
you can see that they definitely threw their money around to get a good spot on the or not a Game Awards.
Oh, it's an EA. Oh, it's an EA game.
Yeah, it's
That's
EA.
right.
It's an
Or
EA original.
yeah. They all are these days, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, so you're well within your right to be skeptical. It's an EA title.
Right.
Who knows?
I'm not gonna lie, they haven't really let me down
Lately.
very recently,
No,
right?
it's been yeah. Well, they've been letting people make games,
They've been,
so
yeah, that is true. I mean, they definitely have let a lot of people down. I guess performance wise, it's like, a
yeah.
shit can, but I feel like they're making some of the right decisions.
Is this?
In terms of letting the right people make the games and not really touching it.
Oh my God, can they end the Ever War? I don't know if I can do it. I don't.
The Everwar.
Every time I see
Ah,
my
what asshole wrote this?
Unleash her,
Sorry.
Sorry.
Sorry, whoever actually did. That's kind of mean.
I gotta save Avium from the Everwar. We're so mean, and I don't even care. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. It's a game. It's coming in
It exists.
2024. It exists. Um,
Two
I'm
disc.
I'm in.
Jesus. Yeah,
I'm
I know.
so
Yeah.
effing in. Like,
Yeah. Like,
but if they kill Tifa, we're gonna have a problem.
I don't know why they would. That would be weird, right? It would be really weird.
That freaking scene at the end with Sephiroth katanaing her, I was just like, "Mm."
Yeah, but I mean that happens in the game though,
Yeah,
right?
but
Like,
he said specifically, "I killed her. Who is she?" Or something like that. I don't know. He said
yeah,
something
but I
like,
feel like I don't know. No, he did. He did say something along those lines, right? But I mean, that scene is definitely in the original game,
yeah.
and he does just that. It was just and in old pointy bits graphics. So
And a lot of stuff gets lost in that
yeah,
translation when you
quite a
don't
bit.
have like voice acting and, our attention span.
Yeah, that's true.
So maybe I need to go watch a lore dive on Final Fantasy VII to make sure that I haven't been running with inaccurate information for 25 years or so.
I always feel like that's the case, right? But I mean, I think I got a good grasp on it, but maybe I don't
Like
know.
we're both like, hmm.
I mean, who is he? I mean, what did he say? She or did he say he?
He said, "Who is she?" Um, and it was right after the katana slice with Tifa, and I'm just like, I swear to God, you leave her alone.
I mean, it could have just been bad placement in the trailer dialogue, right? Because like
Yeah,
he could have, and probably, I really think they're not gonna kill Aerith, right?
I don't think they are either. I think that's like like wish fulfillment going on
That
multiple
would make
decades.
the most sense.
I think so.
And basically everything they were already doing from like the end of the first game, I
Yeah.
think that's 100% what they're planning on doing. And he was probably talking about her.
Kill
And
Kate Sith.
yeah, I mean that's
Not
fine.
everybody has to. No, but I do think that
I mean,
the,
technically he does die, right? Blows himself
yeah,
up.
that's true. Um, I think the tension in this game is going to ride on like, oh my God, is somebody gonna die?
Yeah.
And is it gonna be Aerith or Tifa? Because I feel like it's got to be one of them, and maybe none of them. I don't know. Just don't.
Meanwhile, I'm just ecstatic to hear that it is going to be like kind of a full open world
Yeah,
experience, like a fully realized second disc of Final Fantasy VII. That's what we're looking at.
we
So
said
much
it right
so
here on this
that
podcast
it
that
is
that's what we
two
were looking
disc
for.
PlayStation 5 game. Jesus.
I know that's insane,
I
but like,
When it comes on computer, it's going to be a doozy downloading that one.
I know, I know. Um, but yeah, they're giving us what we were asking for, and I like remake for what it does. I think the Midgar thing is cool, but yeah, I was like, there's no way to continue on with linearity
Yeah,
into
no.
the second or the more open part of this game.
Yeah, well, it's like we said when we were talking about it. It made sense for the first disc. It made sense for Midgar, right? It does
Yeah,
not make sense for the rest of Final Fantasy VII.
no, no. So I am super excited for that, but we have a full half a year. Um, Maybe that's early 2024. That could be January. It could be April. Who knows?
Yeah,
But that's Summer Game Fest in totality for the most part. I skipped over some stuff that's like meh. Now we can get to the
the-
Xbox Bethesda showcase, which was exciting,
yeah, very extremely right, depending on what you're into.
depending on what you're into. But I mean, they kicked it off with Fable, which I'm just gonna say was a confusing trailer for me. It was an enjoyable trailer. I love
It was,
what's his name
yeah,
from
I know, me too.
the It crowd.
Yeah, No, I perfect, like literally perfect person to do that.
It was good.
I don't remember his name.
But they're saying in-engine footage, and I my brain was like, "No, like, no, none whatever I'm seeing right now, this is all cutscene. This doesn't make sense that you're telling me this is, like."
I feel like they loosely use that term a lot of
Yeah.
the times. It's kind of like, oh, so I mean, sure, I guess if we're talking about a pre-rendered cutscene that's not even in the game or taken from pieces of the game, I guess
Yeah.
it's in the engine, but I mean, it's not gameplay, you know.
Yeah.
So I don't. Yeah, I really don't get that. I don't even know why they would throw that tag on there. It makes no
It
sense.
was
Neither
weird
do
because
I really care, you know, unless you're showing me actual gameplay. I don't care.
the only thing I could think of is that some of the things that they were showing was more on the rail stuff, but I don't believe that it's gonna make its way into whatever the final product is. If anything, this was a showcase of the tone, which
Yeah,
I thought
which
was interesting because it really was following more of a Fable, like actual Fable
yeah, which
style.
I hate that idea, but
You do?
yeah, yeah, that they're gonna use like a
Jack and the
real world,
Beanstalk.
yeah, Jack, yeah, all that kind of stuff seems a little lazy to me.
Mm,
I just don't get the point. I get that the game is named Fable. That most certainly was never the point of the game. It's supposed to be like its own fable, right? Not a game in which case you play and take part in some of the classic fables of our childhood. But I did find the whole thing to be hilarious,
yeah,
right?
it was funny.
I genuinely laughed, and I was just like, I enjoyed it, especially when you kicked the shit out of the chicken.
Oh yeah, right. While
The
I do
part when you
think
were like walking, everybody was like praising you, and they just had an NPC just
yeah, it was
Oh,
good.
yeah, it was good. It was,
And well,
that
yeah, and I do think that that is territory that you could tread on and be a little lazy, but I think for the most part, it's it's got potential to be entertaining. Like if they play around with it and they still do
yeah,
make like a nice like a cross between old school Fables and like a an Oblivion RPG or something. You know, I think
right.
that could work.
Which is kind of like, what, Fable was maybe meant to be to begin with. It was just a little bit more linear, I guess, right?
Yeah, yeah. Who is developing this?
I have no idea. Somebody owned by Microsoft,
I
clearly. I don't even know
know.
how they got the rights for that, right? Like, how does that even work? Who owned Lionsgate? Did Microsoft own
Microsoft
Lionsgate?
did, yeah. That
Yeah.
was, I mean, Fable, all the Fables were Xbox originals.
Then yeah, I guess yeah, you're right.
Still are. I mean, you can get them on, you can't even get two on PC for some reason.
No, you can't. It's just crazy.
Playground Games.
I'm guessing they lost the
Okay, so this is the Forza Horizon developers.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, I remember them saying that actually.
That's okay, yeah, that's super interesting. Um, yeah, I think that's what I'm curious about the most because obviously they have the fidelity down. Like they're
Right.
going to design a very beautiful looking game. Um, but and I do think that the Horizon series has some elements of like open world and RPG. Like they play around with. Clearly, they want to do that kind of stuff with the Horizon series.
Right.
But is that going to translate well to like a full RPG? Are we going to have, is it going to feel like that or is it going to feel light? You know what I mean?
Let's hope not, right?
Let's hope not, because that would
Come on. We only
that
like hoped and dreamed that they would actually make a new Fable and wouldn't be anything like the third one. Uh
yeah. And the third one was, it had some qualities to it, but it wasn't one and two, I guess, should say. Um, but yeah, I wouldn't want it to be, I don't know. I wouldn't want it to be like pseudo open world. That would be a real bummer. Oh my God, look, we're back and nothing has changed.
Nothing at all.
It's definitely not 12 hours later or something.
Yeah.
And we're just continuing on with the podcast.
Yep.
Hi everyone. Persona 3, am I right?
Yeah,
Interesting.
remaking it again.
They're remaking it again. Um, let's just continue and act like nothing happened.
Yeah, pretty much.
So, the next thing that I was going to talk about was, um, here we go. Avowed. We got a trailer for that.
Yeah, right. And we saw like some gameplay there.
We did see some gameplay for Avowed. Yeah, that I don't know. Like looks looks good. I it wasn't that much gameplay, I guess.
No, it wasn't. It was a little bit. I mean, it was. That's Obsidian, right?
Yes, that's their like first person
Yeah,
action
it's
RPG
their it's
a
their
la Skyrim.
Oblivion
Yeah,
Skyrim. Yeah. Um,
but it's got guns
it does got guns. That's cool.
and
Lots of magic.
lots of interesting flora and fauna.
Yeah, it sure does, right? And I mean, I guess I didn't play enough. So apparently, that's all in the Pillars universe.
Ooh, I didn't realize
Yeah,
that. That's pretty
uh,
cool.
and apparently, a lot of people from like Deadfire. Is that what it is?
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
second
Apparently,
one.
a lot of people from that game are in there and stuff. So
Oh God, I need to play Deadfire more.
yeah, yeah. I mean, apparently, I mean, I haven't really played any of them, right? But they are pretty acclaimed. I think they are a good studio that writes good, I guess, story content. So it'd be fun
RPG
to see.
games.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know, it's interesting that we don't get more of the Bethesda clones these
Yeah.
days. I
I
mean,
mean, I think they're just hard to make, and it's kind of like the same concept that's like you if you attempt to follow in Bethesda's footsteps, you're gonna be compared to Bethesda, right? And good
but
luck.
on yeah, and back in the day, that was a lot harder of a challenge to greet. But in
Yeah,
this day
now.
and age, where Bethesda is kind of like, oh, haha, it's a Bethesda game. It's a buggy mess. I guess Arcane sort of competes with it, but they're more like sim, with the like death proof and death
No, yeah,
loop, not death
yeah.
proof, death loop and all that stuff. But yeah, um, interesting.
I think they do in like aesthetics, right? But not really gameplay.
Yeah, yeah. Obsidian's that other studio that really, they did you play Outer Worlds? Outer,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, I
Outer
did.
Worlds.
Which, yeah, I mean, was basically competed with and stood very much so on the same level, if not better
It's like a
than
Fallout.
Fallout. Yeah,
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I
a
fell
lot of
off a
people
little
did,
toward
right?
the end. Yeah, but
Yeah,
it was definitely a fun experience.
yeah. I'm really excited to see what they can do in a more fantasy as opposed to sci-fi
Yeah,
environment.
especially if you have some cool magic action combat.
Yeah,
Yep.
right. I'm all for it.
Yeah.
I've been waiting for it. I'm excited. It should be fun. And you're absolutely right. We don't have enough games, similar gaming experiences like Elder Scrolls and Fallout. We could use more.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna make the executive decision to blow past a bunch of stuff because I know that there's something we really want to talk about. So, real quick, there's a Monkey Island expansion coming to Sea of Thieves, which seems fun. Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth
Yeah.
looks interesting. I don't think they've done one in an American setting, and this looks
No.
like
Yeah. I was like, what?
Miami. It's
Crazy.
Miami. Um, path
Ah.
that path
Ah.
of that Path of the Goddess game that looks like Onimusha, which
I God. So if I could just say, I was like, okay, Japanese setting, cool, cool. I could dig it. Capcom. Oh my God. Are they gonna do it? And then I was like, no,
Yeah,
no,
it's
no.
different.
Of course not. Cowards won't give me what I want.
Yeah, and it's like you could make a spiritual successor to Onimusha, and that could be just as successful. But if it, yeah, and I don't even know if like people who were involved with Onimusha made it just seems so much like Onimusha. So
Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know what's going on with that game though, like at all. Like it seems like it might be like a time battle thing.
yeah, they said something about tactical combat. I think in the Capcom showcase where it featured a couple days later,
Mm.
there was some like tactics thing going on. So I don't know, but I'm definitely intrigued by that. I would love a good Japanese inspired hack and slash. It's been a minute. And not
Yeah,
like a
no, there's
Dark
need
Souls
more.
game.
Yeah, right. Well, Devil May Cry 5, that would be like the last one, right?
Yeah, but but nothing that's like
Nope. My
ancient,
hair got loose.
weird, feudal magic Japan, so that's cool. A bunch of smaller stuff like Jusant, which looks like a climbing simulator, looks interesting. Still Wakes the Deep. Um, Cyberpunk's coming back with an expansion, which I'm definitely going to play.
Yep, of
Keanu
course.
Reeves is still a
Always, yeah, great.
national treasure.
Yeah, really. It's just,
Powerborn is competing for the worst name for a video game of all time.
I don't know. Like, I don't know if they just paid Keanu a ridiculous amount of money, but I do like how enthusiastic and knowledgeable about the character and the world that he is, right?
Yeah, he seems genuinely into it.
They'll like interview. They did an interview where they were interviewing him about the game, right? And he was talking all about it. Like
Hmm.
he knew everything. That's
Yeah,
crazy to
yeah.
me.
He's just a treasure.
Yeah.
He's wonderful. Um, Clockwork Revolution, which a lot of people are, I guess, thinking is close to the BioShock thing, and then they came out and were like, "That is just a coincidence. This has nothing to do with Ken Levine or BioShock in any way."
Yeah, even though I 100% thought that it was like the successor to BioShock. I thought it was a new BioShock and I had to look up the company. I was like, "Oh yeah, no. That's not it."
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm so all for that, right? That is another
Yeah.
game that I guess people could attempt to copy off of, right? And I'm
Yeah.
fine with because we
Yeah.
need more of them.
Hmm. Yeah, if it is in fact an immersive sim, I don't know. But I'm into these. Let's go for it while we're waiting on Judas to come out, whatever that is. Um, and then yeah, and then we launched into a really long dive into Starfield. That was like almost as long
Yeah.
as the rest of the showcase.
Yeah, no, we got to see Starfield, like all of Starfield. Like
Hmm.
with like enough to just, I guess, make your final assumptions if you're gonna play the game or not, really.
I texted you right away, and I was just like, "Oh, well,
Yeah.
looks like they
I
got me."
yeah, you did actually. And I was like, man, I really need to watch that. And then I watched it, I was like, okay, oh, oh,
Oh,
oh,
and
oh.
I was sitting there. I was just like, and 10 years ago or however long, that wouldn't have been a weird statement. It'd be like, oh, Bethesda RPG is coming out. Obviously, I'm going to play that forever. Um, but it's definitely gotten, we've talked about it extensively, how the tide has shifted and you don't know what state these things are going to launch in.
Right.
Um, but I saw this and I was just like, yeah, they got my number.
Yeah, they got mine too, actually. They really did. I did somewhere along the way of them showing all that footage, it was just like me remembering why I loved uh
Yeah,
their games to begin with, right?
just that
And
immersion.
yeah, the immersion, it's just like it's got like all the elements there, but it definitely has like more than enough new, and it's just over the top. Like a lot of it
Right.
is over the top, and I think that some of like a lot of the things that I was just concerned about, I really think they went through and did 1,000 planets.
I know. you
They didn't
know?
like. I don't. I'm sure some of it's like procedurally generated, but I'm pretty sure that is some well curated thousand fucking planets. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, from what I understand, they had details in there about like how each person's experience could be slightly different, and I mean, the comparisons to No Man's Sky are
Oh yeah, no,
more than
even
warranted.
me, yeah.
But,
Even more so from what we previously saw. When I
yeah,
think
yeah.
I said that was just like it's basically No Man's Sky. It kind of is, but more like what you wanted No Man's Sky to be.
Yeah, and I will give credit to No Man's Sky. It's improved a great deal.
Oh yeah,
It's still, for some reason, doesn't have the ability to hold my interest, and I think that's because there are certain immersive elements missing, like feeling like this world's actually lived in, and these NPCs are people that are moving toward like a greater thing where it's not just stuff that's been tacked on over and over and over and over and over again. Like I need more than just Minecraft in space, and I know that's reductive, but that's what my brain tells me when I start playing No Man's Sky. And so this is definitely more in line with, okay, yeah, I'm going to explore this world. I'm going to feel like I'm really like sinking my teeth into the factions and the systems at play, and being able to structure your spaceship. The freedom, I guess, is what it is. Like being able to structure
yeah.
your spaceship the way you want, and then
God,
when
the
you go and
spaceship.
walk around in it, like you're walking around in the components that you've set up.
Prepare your star holes because people are just going to be making giant penises, but it's
Yeah,
going to
and
be great.
kudos to them for
Yeah.
showing stupid shit. I
All
really
right.
appreciated
Yeah.
that. I was
Yeah.
like, oh,
That's what
okay,
we all
they know
did.
what they're
Yeah.
doing. They
Yeah.
know.
They know. They know because we're just going to
this
make a bunch of stupid shit.
this like Kmart Optimus Prime
Mhm.
that
No,
just
but to
like
be honest,
took
I
off.
hope I can make like just like a giant. And it looks like you could just do a lot, but I would
Penis.
love to just
Yeah.
make like a giant ass like space fucking command battleship center.
You already know what I'm gonna try to do. I'm gonna try to make a like a space pirate
Right.
ship.
Oh yeah, yeah. I was like, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. You're
I
right. But
that
hey,
was the
you
one
can
thing
be
I
a
saw missing.
space pirate.
Oh, and I will be. I will
Yeah.
be.
And I think we could all appreciate I did not get her name, but when she was talking about the game and she just likes to go around and killing people and stealing sandwiches, right? And
Yeah,
that's pretty awesome.
I know. They included the quirky employee that they're just like,
Yeah.
what
It's like,
what did she say?
wow, they do what we do. They're just like us.
Uh,
It's a nice personal touch. They're smart. They're very
yeah,
smart for doing all that, really.
they are. They are. Because I mean, it just shows you
Who's gonna be mad at Sandwich Lady if the game
nobody.
sucks? Nobody.
Nobody. Well,
Yeah.
because what they're saying when they show those moments is that, um, your experience is not going to be held to like a rigid, you're going down this path or this path. It's like,
Yeah.
you really can just,
It's
approach it how you
the
want to approach it,
yeah, it is the Bethesda experience of you just being that person that you want to be, right? That
which is
character.
Lady
Mhm.
Quinn, the queer space buccaneer.
Yeah. Or whatever the fuck I am. I don't know.
Just don't,
Very, very conflicted with my moral choices. That's what
a-
I am.
as long as you're not a space corpo, I think I'm okay with you.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm not that much. I think any game that has a lead city designer
Oh,
as a
yeah.
position, yeah, it's probably going to have some pretty crazy areas in the game. I mean, that city did look like a city. That's
It,
crazy.
I know, which is cool because again, like this could have been a very sparse, like because of the sheer vastness
Which
of the game.
was 100% what I was worried about, right?
I
But
was
it
too.
seems like they're going to have some,
Ports and
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, not sparse at all, and some very, very curated areas, and then maybe like some more open area.
yeah.
And that's fun, right? If an entire planet is kind of like your dungeon delving experience, I mean, that's cool.
Hmm.
That's fun, right?
Well, yeah, and they're showing that variety where it's like you have the futuristic Mass Effect style town, which I guess that's the united colonies of humans or whatever, and then you got your old western town and
Cool. And
your
then its own
outlaw
like
space,
factions that have to deal with those. And the Mars
and then
mining town.
and then Japanese pleasure city, which was
Going straight there, folks.
those were terms that they used. I may be
Yeah,
putting them together in more of a condensed format, but they said those things.
yeah,
It's like, okay, okay,
yeah.
here we go.
Sounds like fun.
Yeah. Um, yeah, and I'm just
And it's
excited.
on the
And
water.
yeah, right. But gosh, yeah, once they started, I think I may have started salivating when they were going through the ships
Yeah.
and how you could
This
attach
yeah,
the different prefabs and all that stuff.
crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy. Yeah, I was just like, I don't even know if that's normally like my thing, but I was just watching that. I was like, what is this? Like,
You didn't know it was your thing because it wasn't allowed before.
yeah, you're right. You know, I could build my own ship that's kind of like that base building sort of experience, but
Yeah, but
it's
you're
a
using
fucking
it.
ship. Yeah. You use it all the time and you customize
Yeah, and
everything. Like, folks, if you didn't watch it, the videos, you can customize everything about your ship.
right. And I mean, and I'm still hoping that truly is limitless because, like what my initial plan is like cruise around with a dog fighter for a little bit and slowly build up, then just like go straight to frigate class when I start hiring a team, and then I'm building a space base. And that's where I'm docking and going about my, something off planet. I really
It'd
hope you
be
can do
cool.
that.
They didn't really show any of that, right? Which is seems a little crazy. I would hope you can, because you can definitely build shit on planets, right? You
Hmm.
can build um I forget what they specifically called them, but you can build little stations on planets, right? You
Yeah.
customize your ship.
Habitats.
It would be weird if you can't build something in space, but
They showed
maybe
structures in space that definitely seem to
yeah,
follow a, component based
right.
thing. So,
Yeah, very much so something that could be done. So yeah,
yeah.
I don't get why you wouldn't be able to,
Well, and
but
the fact that you can just like hire people on and have them work on your vessel and
yeah.
keep things running, whatever the hell that is.
Oh, and the different like I love how the different stuff that you add to your ship is like functional too.
Hmm.
You know, like when you're adding space to your ship, you're actually adding space to your ship that has like, different uh it could be like craft store your equipment or crafting tables, all that good different stuff. Like it's form and function, right?
Right, right. Um,
So I think you know what we're all gonna do here.
bang a bunch of aliens.
Yeah, with our giant space penis.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is also
Spaceship.
our shit.
Yeah.
Space, like a giant nebulous alien that may or may not be God
Yeah.
that we
Just
locate in some system. Yeah, yeah, I like that. I wonder if you could just set up like an absolute colony. Like you go, you find a planet, you're like, so nothing else is here. This is my hedonist colony where we eat grapes and no one wears clothes.
I don't think we can do that, but damn it if I'm not gonna try.
Expansion?
Expansion.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Um, what I thought was funny is that it still looks like a Bethesda game. Like it's got that
It really does.
animations are just a little stilted and funny looking, but
I
they
think
look
that's
like they were put into a new engine.
yeah. Well, I don't know if they were trying to just make it look like more Bethesda. But it does seem like they toned down. Like those animations are definitely old, and the character the character models definitely seem a little old for
Mhm.
this day and age, but I think that is very much so a good thing. I think maybe they did that on
Yeah.
purpose because uh I don't think they wanted this game to be as jank as like Fallout was, right?
No, and there's definitely a ton of detail in the
Everything
environments
else,
and the
yeah.
weapons, and, like, I don't need things to it's impressive enough. I don't need things to be perfect. Um,
Yeah, like it's not something that would bother me even a little bit. I think it was a choice for them to do that, right? Or they were just
yeah.
reusing assets. But either way, I think they're really trying to just like worry worry about performance here,
Mhm.
which is great.
Yeah.
I do think with that in mind, the lighting is gonna blow up all of our computers, but
That's what I told you. I was like,
everything else,
"Shit, I think I have to upgrade my PC before
yeah,
October." I think this is the game that's gonna push it over.
yeah.
So we'll
It's probably
see.
gonna push a lot of people's over, that's for sure.
Yeah. What
But
did
it's
you
still shaping
think?
up to maybe
Yeah,
be a little bit better of an experience than previous titles.
I think so. What did you think about the combat? I know a lot of people in the last sneak peek, which really only showed, you know, character exploring like one little area. But, did you think like a lot of people said it didn't look impactful. People weren't
Right.
really reacting to bullet shots. It
Yeah.
seemed like they tried to amp that up a little bit here.
I think they did, right? It seems like, I mean, overall, the combat experience, it seems a lot fast. Of course, it is a lot faster than previous Bethesda titles, but
Hmm.
they're definitely, at least to me, it looked like there was more weight, right? More feedback to all the bullets. It looked a lot more satisfying to be shooting somebody than
Well, and
it
they didn't
did.
just ragdoll; they kind of
Yeah.
crumpled in animation.
Well, and even the character gunshot, the sounds, right? That all helps too. Like it look feel like like the character's kind of going more like this, right? Instead of
Yeah.
just yeah.
Did you pick up on the punching?
I did pick up on the punching. The punching looks cool. You know what
It looked
doesn't?
cool.
You know what looks just very basic Bethesda? The melee combat. I don't
You're talking about
know.
like this the stealth, like when he had the knife or whatever.
Yeah, it's just
I
but
know it's like
maybe that's the last thing that they've been working on. I
well,
don't know.
remember how in Skyrim there was that really awkward kill cam system they
Yeah,
entered that was really just random when they decided to use it, they would use it. I don't like it like if you did a crit or whatever, but it wasn't like a stealth kill cam. It's like would it be so hard to put in an animation where you like interact with the the body and like stab it?
yeah.
I feel like we're way beyond that. Like that has to be canned at this point.
Yeah, and then even when there's that time where he like froze somebody and then he had an axe and he just went like that, it still just looked like it looked like the same shit it's looked like since Morrowind. I'm just holding that
A
heavy attack
technical
and
contact.
yeah, where there's
Yeah.
there's not a there's no feedback, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's kind of
Which
the
is
problem.
well, it's like with Fallout, obviously not Skyrim and stuff because if you're not using I mean, well, I do use melee combat in the Elder Scrolls, but I feel like I mostly go with bows and magic. And then in Fallout, I it's all guns. Like I'm not going to use melee weapons in that. So I don't know. That might be the same situation here. Also, if I'm a space pirate, like I'm gonna be using guns. I don't know. It just makes sense.
I know. I just like melee combat, but then it's just like, well, it seems stupid to not be using guns. Yeah, I guess that's the best thing about Bethesda games is you really can do either or. There's no disadvantage there. Maybe
Yeah,
some things are a little bit easier than others at certain points of the game, but
yeah. I guess
uh,
I also see it as a little disorienting in first person combat, and I
yeah,
always kind of have that I feel like my swings are messing with my focus, and I always have to reorient. So maybe that's why I have
but
such
hear
a
me
hard
out.
time with it.
Cutlass in this hand, nine in this hand.
I mean, you're not lying.
You know,
Yeah.
come on.
Listen, I pull out my nine. I mean, that's what I was rocking all the way through Jedi Survivor. I was just, yep, yep, yep. Pistol lightsaber. Let's go.
Yeah, yeah, let's go.
That
That's
would be
that's the dream. right?
That would be super tight.
Yeah. But we'll have to see. Did you see the you clearly have powers thing?
They save that for the end, and then all of a sudden it
Yeah.
was like some supernatural. Yeah, I guess that's gonna be your
Yeah,
Dragonborn
your Fusro dolls.
storyline.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
which I'm cooler with that here, like interacting with an alien artifact to get some
Yeah,
magic
yeah.
powers. Because I
Yeah,
mean,
I can dig
when
it.
you're looking at space, you need like a MacGuffin or a sci-fi storyline to carry you. Like what's really going on?
Right.
You know,
Aliens.
I always felt like Skyrim didn't really need the dragon stuff, but I may be a minority in
I don't yeah, I feel like it just could have been presented better.
that.
I don't know.
Yeah, I
I don't
think
know.
technologically it was maybe a little restricted.
Yeah.
They
Which this
couldn't make it as cool.
clearly doesn't have that many technological restrictions at this point. Jesus Christ. This game is going to be huge.
How
Huge.
long do you think it's going to take from release for people to recreate the Millennium Falcon and or the Enterprise? 4 hours?
Yeah, you know. When can you start shipbuilding, right?
Right, like
When will the first infinite resource bug be discovered, you
yes.
know?
Um, within 20 minutes.
Yeah, basically.
That's the other thing is like mods. I Jesus Christ, can you imagine the
Oh
mods?
my god. I didn't even think about that at all, but those are gonna be crazy.
Yeah, like I don't know. I mean, there's gonna be a Thomas the Tank Engine ship
Yeah.
immediately. I know that much.
Oh, oh, oh no, there is. Like, yeah, there is. I didn't even think about that.
Come on, Master Chief, let's go. Uh, yeah. I'm excited. I don't know.
Me too.
Like I'm.
Yeah, I'm really excited
I
now.
hate to get to this place, but I'm beyond excited. I'm like, damn it, I need this game. I'm okay
Y
waiting, but
Yeah, I really didn't think I needed it so much, and now I'm like, yeah, no, I need this. It's like I feel I haven't played the game yet, but I'm just like, this is it. This is the one I've been waiting for
that's the
since
sci-fi.
Oblivion.
This is
Yeah,
sci-fi, Star Wars, Star Trek
that
sim.
that Fallout never gave me, right?
I know.
Never.
And I really hope it does. Like I'm confident that's good. Like I think what worries most people is what state is this going to launch in because it's a Bethesda game
It
and day
is.
one is going to be complicated.
I mean, they could say whatever they want. They did say that this is, the most stable Bethesda game to date, right? Which, I mean, a more stable Bethesda game still isn't very stable, but
We
we
know
will
what you're
see.
thinking, and we want to assure you that we traveled to the center of the earth and found the fountain that grants us any wish we want, and we wish this game would launch in a stable state.
It does look like it was a heavy focus, right? But we'll see.
I like the intric intricacy of the
What
weapons.
are you trying to like copy me right now?
Intricity of the
I
weapons.
know, I know damn well you know how to say that word. Get out of
I
here.
it's not that I don't know how to say it, it's that my mouth wouldn't do the thing when I needed it to.
Intrinsically.
The intricity of the weapons is really interesting.
Yeah, I think Bethesda's always had that a little bit. It seems
Mhm.
like I really enjoy, of course, the mod system. Always, right? I
And
like
Fallout
modifying.
4 had a really robust system that I think
Yeah.
was a little became limited later on, and it looks like this you can have endless options for weapons in this one.
Yeah, also, did you see the character's weapon wheel where I mean, it could just be a dev thing, but they
It was like 30 things.
yeah, they were just like, yeah, whatever, whatever you want to carry
I
here.
was like, "Oh, y'all are out of your freaking mind, but I
Yeah,
will use that."
yeah, it's
Well, because 'cause I'm
crazy.
the type of person that can't I I can't part with weapons that I think are cool, and so I'm switching back and forth constantly.
Right. Well, hopefully you can modify them to
Hmm.
keep up with the newer weapons. All the different weapon types seem really cool, especially the little like railgun system things, the mags. You know.
Yeah, yeah. So you have your bullet guns, you have your laser guns, you have your explosive weapons, melee weapons, and then they showed off, yeah, like you just brought up, they showed off these interesting like laser railguns, I guess, but
Yeah.
it was like a grid of lasers that
Yeah.
just made a square shape.
And just obliterated things all at once. It's like a
It,
a space shotgun, but
but like
no spread.
there was no recoil on that gun, so it was just like I was like, okay.
Yeah. I do really like the idea that like if you're shooting a ballistics weapon in space, it literally throws you back,
That
right?
was neat.
So
Yeah,
you
and
have
it
to use
also
like
revealed that we
laser
have
weapons.
space combat, which I
Yeah,
absolutely like
it's
zero
cool.
gravity combat, which, come
Oh, and the
on.
jetpack. Why? Who isn't going to use the jetpack
Yeah,
always?
they're like, you can go down the skill tree of the jetpack. It's like, bitch, we're all gonna use
Yeah, we're
that.
all going to use that. Why would the like? What do you think I'm playing this game? Right?
There is no game in the world that's not made more fun by the ability to hover or fly.
Yeah.
It just doesn't exist. Animal
Uh,
Crossing with the ability to fly would be fun.
yeah. No, I mean, yeah, excellent. No, it does seem like super cool to use.
You know what this presentation made me want was an in-depth AAA documentary because they showed a lot of studio stuff off, and I think it would be cool to get more developer account from stuff something like this, like focus on it. Like I know they've done it for indie studios, but why haven't we really explored like what's going on? And maybe that would just get into some rough area, but they were showing a lot of behind the scenes stuff and a lot of developer
Yeah.
sound bites that I thought was interesting.
Yeah, I always like seeing that stuff really. And I mean even if they get into some rougher stuff, right? It's
Hmm.
probably for the best, but yeah, I think it really helps humanize the individual developers in these big corporations because clearly at this point we have a really hard time separating um every individual developer from the company that they work for and the decisions that are made in a particular game. So
Yeah, and you
it
have
would be very organic way to help a lot of the tension that is built over the years. But
well, especially with you have a big game like this. This is where the harassment usually comes in, and
yeah,
I think
like the
it's
game is
helpful to
shit.
see.
Yeah, people are gonna like. I mean, they'll do that no matter what. But
They will.
uh, it's like wholesome. I think to watch
Hmm.
that whole. Uh, I
What do we
enjoyed that
like?
whole presentation. Right,
Yeah,
seeing all
what we like
the
about the game that we're making.
yeah, and it turns out it's like the same shit that everybody else likes about our games.
Well, it felt like they were actually letting them lead with their own talking points, and they weren't giving them a script like of just PR marketing BS that they're going to regurgitate.
Yeah.
So,
Some questions even seem like off the cuff.
have you pre-ordered the super
Personally.
special bundle with the watch and
On
the
the cuff?
controller?
No, but actually I was gonna say, for the first time ever, a super expensive premium edition thing
Seems
seems
really,
cool.
yeah,
Yeah. Like it's a smartwatch, right? Maybe not all the functionality, but I mean that's cool. That actually
yeah.
it's functional. I don't know how
The
much it is. Probably
controller
like two,
is,
$300, right?
yeah,
But
and I thought the controller was gorgeous.
oh yeah,
Um, and it's got
it
all
is.
the little. It tells you what the mapping is on the controller.
Yeah, no, the controller's cool as shit.
It was
Did
neat.
you see it has like C2 bumpers too?
No, no, I didn't do that.
Yeah.
Interesting. So yeah, that's Starfield. It's coming out in October. So
Can't wait. We actually have a release date. That's crazy. This year. I don't even understand. I mean,
it's supposed
next
to be
year.
last year.
Yeah, well.
I'm very glad this game did not release last year.
No, I needed the time. I think they realized that.
Yeah. Yeah.
which is good. Which is another thing I think the game's going to be fine. Like really looking at it, they didn't go over the top with like the graphics and stuff like that. Yes, there is a lot of detail, but I feel like detail is something that can be scaled, right? So if your computer can run all the
Yeah.
detail, then run all the detail. But if not, hopefully there's a slider to turn all that shit down.
So that's
You
the
know?
other thing you just reminded me of. They came out the next day or the day of or whatever when the presentation launched. Um, it's going to be locked 30 FPS on consoles.
I saw that.
Yeah.
I guess that's another thing. They wanted it to just be stable.
They said they didn't want to sacrifice the fidelity
Yeah.
on Xbox. So I guess, you know,
Which is a little crazy, right? I mean, I guess that's just all it is. I mean, that's all the Xbox can handle for this game.
this makes a little more sense to me than say Gotham Knights, where I was like, there's a solution here that we're not exploring. But this makes a little more sense.
Right. Yeah, I mean 1,000 plus planets, and I know that they're not all loaded up there, but a sizable portion of everything basically needs to be. So it's going to affect the performance greatly, right?
Yeah, definitely.
I don't know. I'll be playing on PC.
Well, me too, because I don't
PCs
have an
probably
Xbox.
won't be able to run it on 60 frames per second, but you know we'll get what we can.
Yeah.
In my experience, right, it is running anything on 30 frames when we're all so used to 60 and whatnot, it might be a little jarring for a little bit, but then you're not even going to notice it. It's really just
You you
swapping back and forth
you
and
get
stuff
used
like
to
that.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the problem is when games are inconsistent and you know, like Jedi Survivor, every time I went back to Kobo, I was like, ah, like
Yeah.
holy shit, because the game just started slugging along. But yeah, once you're in it for a couple hours, like you really don't notice. I
No,
play
no.
Resident Evil at 30 frames because I want the ray tracing and everything, and that's a game that I don't mind at more of a, like a slightly lower frame rate. It's cinematic to me.
Right.
Um, oh, what's interesting is like you don't have to have any system to play this. You could just stream it on a Xbox Game Pass.
Yeah, yeah.
Like there are some people that will be able to play this without buying a system at all.
W-
So that's cool.
Yeah, that is cool. Good old Xbox Game Pass.
Yeah. And I think that's pretty much everything. We didn't go into Ubisoft Forward mostly because I wasn't super impressed. There's a lot of Assassin's Creed. Um, there's a lot of like mobile games, like The Division is coming out with a mobile game, Assassin's Creed's coming out with a mobile game. Could not
Yeah, not really
care
much.
less.
They're
Um,
redoing Prince of Persia as a side scroller.
That's the only thing that I was just like, okay, yeah, that's
Yeah.
pretty cool looking. And that just seems like an interesting idea for a game. So I'm down with that. And they did a deep dive into Star Wars Outlaws, but we kind of talked about that one already.
Yeah, I actually went back and watched that too.
Oh, the gameplay
Yeah. And I mean,
since
and
since 20 minutes ago.
buying up seems pretty. I don't know how much of that is like uh cutscene basically, but yeah, I mean, it seems like really like you're in control from like taking off the going
That's
all
the
the way up into space.
that's the part I'm interested in about the most.
Yeah, like the space combat and stuff like that. I mean, combat in general, it definitely doesn't seem like anything new. But I
it's
mean,
pew pew, it's
yeah,
pew
as
pew
long
pew
as
pew.
there's good story along the way, and
I
that's
saw
fine.
some people comparing it to Watch Dogs, the way that your little companion interacts with
Oh right, yeah.
different
You never
things,
played the
and
game, but
I played it a bit here and there. I'm not a big fan, but um, yeah. But I am interested in the in the fact that the game does almost seamlessly interact between like planet, surface, and space. So that'd be cool, and that's something that Starfield. There are like loading breaks when you land on the planet, so and which I get, but you're not getting that seamless flying through the atmosphere to get to space like you do in No Man's Sky.
No, which is great. I mean, not every game needs to have that, right? But it is just really cool. I don't know, something about it just makes the whole experience ridiculously more immersive. But then again,
It's very cool.
it seems, it seems fine. It seems like the amount of activities to do in space and Starfield is gonna be crazy.
Can I ride animals on planets? Actually, did they show any vehicles? Now that I
They
think about it, in
they didn't.
Starfield,
And how big are these planets gonna be? They did
they
not.
they look huge. Um,
Did they ever say anything about vehicles? They're gonna
they
gotta
talked
have
about the
it
ship a
something.
lot, but I imagine there's got to be like a detachable rover or something, or like a
Yeah,
bike that you can.
yeah. And in fact, if I can build a bay that has like that sort of stuff,
Yeah.
that would just be awesome.
Or how about this? You have your normal big ship, and then you got a little speeder that detaches from it,
And it's cool too, right?
right? Like,
Or whatever, whatever you want, whatever's your personal thing. I
because
mean, yeah,
they
I
did
kind of
say the
want like
word
an
fleet.
armada of
Yeah,
like with like little fighters, but I
they
don't think.
said they said fleet. They did use the word
Yeah,
fleet, so I
but I
think you can
think
have
it's yeah,
multiple
like a
things.
mix of like all your different ships, right? Because apparently,
Hmm.
even we're never going to end this episode. When you can go and you can steal people's ships, and then it's just yours, right?
And
Second you hop into the
yeah,
cockpit, bam, that ship is yours.
yeah, yeah, yep,
It's
yep.
nuts.
Just give them a
We're
little,
gonna be space pirates.
just give them a little pop pop.
Yeah,
This is
pop, pop.
mine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking for. Yeah, you're
And
right.
they're
We're
like,
never
you
gonna.
can either just shoot them or you can board them and take your ship. Well, yeah, I think you know what we're gonna do.
Oh my God, they're cops. We gotta go lay low on this moon. Just
Let
find
them
a
come.
just find a
There'll be
bad.
more ships for my fleet.
Oh, too many, too many, too many. Shit. All right. Yeah, I guess we can call it there. Super excited. Should have the
Me too.
footage below here for your enjoyment. Yeah, thanks everybody for stopping by and listening. This has been an overview of the Summer Game Fest, Xbox Bethesda Showcase, etc. Lots of cool games coming. I'm sure we will be playing some Starfield in October and covering it on this here channel. Um, please go watch that Diablo video. It was hard to make.
Yeah, I put a lot of put a lot of gaming work into that.
Yeah. All right, y'all. Thanks again. Send us questions to nerdinggrounds at gmail. The nerdinggrounds at gmail.com. That's the one.
Yeah.
And have a great week/weekend. Bye bye.
Bye.